Everywhere you look, worship leaders are debating on multitracks. What are they, and should you be using them in your worship team? Find out right here. Welcome to Budget Worship Leaders, your resource for leading better worship on a budget. My name is Rob. Welcome to the channel. Multitracks are a tool that worship leaders use to have a fuller sound. They're basically just a recording of a song where each instrument is on its own track that can be turned on and off individually. That allows you to turn on and off certain tracks. For example, if you don't have a bass player or a drummer one week, you can turn on the bass track and the drum track and it'll fill in for whoever's not there. Or for example, if you only have one guitar player and the song has 3 guitar parts, the multitracks can cover the 2 parts that your guitar player aren't playing. That frees him up and it allows him to play just one part instead of trying to play 3 different parts at the same time, which can be a nightmare. There are pros and cons to using multitracks. They definitely change the worship experience. They also require you to change your worship team's dynamic. One requirement for using multitracks is in-ear monitors. In order to keep the team in sync with the song that's playing, they have to be able to play to a click or a metronome. And you don't want the congregation to be able to hear the click, so you can't have the sound running through a floor wedge on the stage. It has to go through in-ear monitors. Depending on whether you use a wired or a wireless in-ear monitor setup, that can significantly impact the cost. Wireless in-ear setups tend to run a couple of $1,000s. And if your worship team's not used to playing with a click track, you're going to get a lot of pushback when you try to introduce it, and there's real good reason for that. A musician who doesn't have a solid ability to keep time is not going to be able to play with a click. It's going to throw them off. They're going to find it to be a distraction. And this will introduce a very, very difficult conversation. But don't let that be a discouragement to you, because difficult conversations and your ability to navigate through those is a really good metric for judging where you are on a leadership scale. And your approach to these conversations can make or break you as a worship leader. Multitracks are a great tool for leading more engaging worship. But they have to be used really carefully, because too much reliance on multitrack will cause a worship team to lose their feeling of authenticity. If you're familiar with Babylon Bee, they recently did an article that I found hilarious. And in the article they reported on a church who replaced their entire worship band with the animatronic band from Chuck E. Cheese, and no one noticed. Now, that article was written in jest, but it does have a very, very valid warning for relying too much on multitracks and what it can do to the feeling of a band, of a worship band. Another downside of using multitracks is that a worship team has to stay with the track, and that removes a lot of the feel. Oftentimes in worship, more so than any other kind of music, both timing and song structure are very subjective. If you're paying attention to the congregation, you can see them reacting to certain parts of a song, and that may be an invitation for you as an attentive worship leader to say repeat a bridge or a chorus on the fly. The problem with that is if you're using multitracks, it removes that ability from you, because you have to stay with the track as it's recorded. And some churches will use multitracks and pads throughout the entire service. I personally don't like this option, because the only way to make that work is to put the entire service on a time schedule. That means that the pastor can't stop and go back over something he wants to go over or make a point. It limits his ability to guide the congregation. He puts timetables on his sermon. That really limits his ability to lead based on the workings of the Holy Spirit or congregational feedback. If you decide you do want to use multitracks, there's several places that you can get them. It's easy enough to record. All it really takes to record is a digital audio workstation, an interface, an audio interface, which I did a video on, link right here to that video, and whatever instruments that you want to record. If you've been getting value out of this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. This allows me to get these videos out to more beginner or budget worship leaders that would get value out of them. Also hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. I appreciate you. Have a great day. I appreciate your time. And if you'd like, go ahead and check out one of these next videos. I'll see you in the next video.